Like a lot of people, I also dreamed of a Land Rover Defender my whole life. But owning a car like that in a country like Belgium is unnecessary polluting and not needed. And tools need to be used, not looked at. So it was always just a dream, and I was fine with that. Until I fell in love with Iceland and discovered the benefits of owning a car like this over there. That dream became something else. When I made the decision to go to Iceland for a long time, I knew I had to get one myself. So I bought one with the purpose of using it over there. And so began the long project of Foxy the Landy.
So much fun!
I always liked taking things apart. See how they work, fix them, improve them, make them do things they never did or shouldn't do, and then they do them because I want them to do that. Yeah, I've always done that my whole life. Yeah, you can ask my family that. I've always taken things apart at home when I was a kid. Yeah, maybe don't mention the walkie-talkies of my brothers, because that might be waking up some sleeping dogs. The first thing I remember that I wanted to be as a kid was an inventor. I wanted to come up with new ideas, new machines, all that sort of stuff. I've never really become an inventor, but I have been making things all my life. I've been fixing many bikes. I even made my own fixed gear bike, which I still ride today. I've been making furniture for my own place. I've also made a bunch of camera rigs, like a shoulder rig, because I couldn't afford the real deal. And I made some rail systems that didn't really work out so well. Anyway, a bunch of things I made in life didn't always work. Some things did the job and weren't that beautiful, but it was mostly making these things and coming up with these things. That was the most fun part of it all. Of course, I wanted to finish with an excellent product, but that wasn't always the case. I was just having a bunch of fun. And when I bought a Defender 3 years ago, naturally the same thing was going to happen to her. She is from 2001, so she needed a little bit of fixing up, and she had some rust here and there. Some things were broken, other things broke along the way. But 3 years ago, she looked like this. This is a pretty standard Defender, and standard Defenders are already really good, but I wanted her to be exactly like I wanted it to be. From the start, I wanted to build her in a way that I could travel in it and live in it. And a Land Rover Defender van life setup is not really your average van life setup. I mean, if you use your 4x4 for what it's made for, then things get thrown around, shaken. Stop. The car gets submerged in water here and there. So things have to be pretty rigid in the car, and you can't just have loose things flying around. Of course, I wanted to make it really cozy in there, but like your average van life setup with like your mugs hanging from the window, fairy lights on the ceiling, and plants and all that shit, that was not gonna work. Plants were gonna fly around. And at the same time, I didn't want to make it like most of these Defender rigs where it's just super practical and it has no soul. It had to have a soul, so I had to make it my own. I had to come up with my own way of doing this, and that's exactly what I like to do, is find a way how to make my vision work. And so I started, and I got to work 3 years ago. And of course, nothing goes right the first time you do it. So the third build already, and hopefully the last one. Probably not. It will probably last until the next build. Who knows when that is? Maybe next year. Hopefully not next month. So the concept is still pretty much the same as the first build in the back of the car. I took everything out, all the seats. I took them all out. The bench here and then the middle bench over there. I took them out, so I had a clean start. First things first, insulation. I started with Dynamat on all the metals to prevent them from vibrating and transferring sound. Then I put neoprene all over the walls, doors and ceiling. And in build 3, I included all the floors and the bulkhead. Now everything is covered in neoprene. The neoprene helps for thermal and sound insulation. And then I started building this platform, which is basically an extension of the wheel arches, which creates a flat surface all over the back, which is really nice because it's almost like a double bed. It's a bit shorter. It's not 2 meters, it's 180, but I'm 180, so I perfectly fit in the back. So over here, it's an extension of the platform with more boxes. In this third build, I wanted to have the possibility to have seats here to drive, like the original Land Rover setup. So this is not a box anymore. This is just a lid, which I can take off, and it's supposed to go here. I'm gonna build this later, and this is gonna be the back support for the seats. Instead of this being a box like it used to be, it is just an open space where you can have your feet, and now I can open the doors and just shove things in, rather than opening the doors, having to open the lid of the box and then putting things in. And as you can see, if we close this gap, then we have the full-on platform. This is a really nice platform to start with. This is all going to be covered in mattresses, perfectly cut in the right sizes so things can move around. And we can, for example, open up this one again. And then when we're not in the bed configuration, this is going to be the couch area. So that's really nice. And then over here, we're gonna have the kitchen. The first build, I didn't have a kitchen unit here. It used to be extra mattress space, which was really nice, but I needed more storage and I needed a place to cook, a bit better than just on this platform. I wanted it to be higher. The second build, I did have a kitchen unit here, but it was really crappy made with some crappy wood, but it was a really nice way to test out how I wanted it to be in the future, if it worked, and what I wanted to tweak. So I'm about to put in the new kitchen unit. This is the connection to the heater. So we have hot air coming out of here, which means it comes out of something above the mattresses, which is a problem I used to have in the previous builds. When I say heater, I mean the extra diesel heater I installed to be able to heat up the car when the engine is not running. From the heater, there's one pipe going to the foot space of the middle seat and another pipe going through the boxes, passing by this vent and then going up to the kitchen unit. Some other things I've done in this build is build in a battery charger that's always connected to the batteries, and I just plug in an extension cord, so no hassling with cables anymore. And I had a really bad ground connection to the battery for the accessories, so the inverter and the solar panel weren't working properly, and now I fixed that with a direct line to the battery negative. So this inverter can run on full power and the solar panel can charge the battery properly. And I have the nanocom permanently built onto the dashboard, so I have all the information about the engine available at all time, and it just looks cool. The engine is still running smooth as always, so no work there, but I'm building an air tank system hooked up to the air compressor that I salvaged from the air conditioning, and access to the compressed air will be behind this latch here. I'm also going to be redoing the roof rack. That thing is falling apart a little bit, so I need to take care of that. Then the chassis needs to be re-protected and the rust taken care of. Also all the other rust, like on the bumper and on some of the bodywork, needs to be taken care of. And I'll be taking care of all the bodywork to make sure that she shines again. I've also upgraded the auxiliary lights a few months ago, but I'll let 5-month younger Frank explain you that one. I do have some pretty nice lights on the car at the moment, but it's far from ideal. It could be better, because these side lights, for example, they are halogen, so they use a lot of power, so I gotta run the engine, and they seem to collect water all the time, so that's not really good. So the rear work light that's supposed to be up here got stolen, so I gotta replace it anyway. And these spotlights in the front, they're not that bad. They do reach very far, but they don't really light up in the nearby area of the car, so it would be nice to replace them as well. And thanks to Osram, I get to replace them with some really nice quality lights. So check out Osram if you're interested in some extra lights on your car. They do a good job. Let's see what they got. Got some nice little cube lights with some mood lighting in the shape of an X3 of those. And then we got the big boys. Look at these nice little light bars. And as you can see, the light pattern is not only reaching far, it's also lighting up a bit in the front of the car. These will fit perfectly between the license plate and the side of the roof rack. It should be a fairly quickly job. I'll be able to show you a proper result of the lights once the lockdown here in Belgium is over and I can go out and shoot something. The tweaks and mods I haven't talked about in this video, you'll find in my I Live in a Land Rover video. So if you haven't seen that one, go check it out. And since I'll be digging deep down in my Foxy archives for this video, I'm going to leave you with this uncut gem of early van life on a trip in Germany. I'll see you next time. I think today's the day that we try and find a shower somewhere.
No way, dude.
I need a shower.
We gotta keep going.
Ugh.
No, I want to keep going now.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Let's have some wine for breakfast. No, man, some coffee would be killer though.
Yeah, we don't have gas.
Shit.